In the past, I did this type of videos where I'm rating another league coach. In here, I will do the same thing now. Just to be clear, if this goes really badly, don't leave negative comments under his YouTube or don't send him any type of negative messages, of course. So that's what I want to point out. I don't want to cause some unnecessary bitch hunting, of course. Um, so let's jump straight up into it. Let's see what can we find.
Not ganking this lane right now. Why? But I agree.
Also in higher quality, because we like higher quality.
Not ganking this lane right now. Why?
So you could gank it really easily. I think that's fair to say. Mid is missing, and I don't have any other information. I don't exactly know where the enemy jungler is. I don't exactly know it. Now mid lane is mid lane, and soon he's walking downwards. But it could be a bluff. He could walk upwards, but it doesn't matter. Even if it's a bluff, he just doesn't have enough time to intercept, right?
Why?
Because the wave is really big.
Plus, like, Scuttle is covered, right? So.
She has a lot of HP and he's half HP.
Okay, so those are factors, right? But that's not why, like, you don't gank right now. You want to try and time the gank with something else. What do you think it is?
Maybe with Shyvana.
Okay, so is Katarina going to dive this rumble?
Yeah, it's possible.
Not too likely. Now, she's level 5, right? But I don't really feel like Rumble, I think, already popped a heal potion, and he's quite healthy for a successful dive. Soon his W is coming up. I think he's just too healthy.
Difficult, yeah? She's going to trade one for one.
I thought that's my own epic pen, man. I just keep clicking on it, man, because I'm so used to that it's on my screen.
So it's very unlikely she dives the rumble here, Nick. So when would be the next kind of like stage in this lane where Katarina can actually like hurt the rumble?
When she hits 6.
Okay.
Or when the wave pushes back out.
Yeah, around 6 Katarina can look for some form of all-ins, but if Rumble is smart enough to go for exhaust, that never happens, and Katarina doesn't get to have enough agency over the map. Or if, again, like depends how Rumble plays, of course, if he's playing his short raids properly, then he should win every short raid. It's like difficult for Katarina just to randomly, like, let's say in a fair situation where Rumble is 6, right, and Katarina is 6. It's not. She's not. Even if you don't have exhaust, she's not supposed to like just randomly all in rumble.
Good, right? So yeah, your minion wave. Then Katarina has a reason to like potentially damage the rumble, and that's when Rumble's going to move up away from his tower, right? So what you're trying to do, bro, is gank on the timing of the minion wave. So if your minion wave was here right now, I am fine with you going to gank, like go round through Tribrush, right? If your minions were right here, there's a reason for Cat to stay up here. You get me? But there's no reason here.
Yeah,
there's no
really
reason for her to. Yeah, there's no reason for her to move.
It wouldn't be too of a successful gank. What's my reasoning behind that? If right now, if we started walking, right, then the minions are here, right, on his side, and the same minion wave is on the same side of the map, of course. What does that even mean? By the time Kha'Zix walks all the way, the minion wave appears and he jumps away. Kha'Zix won't even get an isolated Q. Maybe even his W will be tanked. So depends how Katarina plays. If Katarina plays aggressively enough, which she already showed off that she does in general, and it doesn't seem like she ever walked downwards to ward, then this would be a reasonable situation to gank to.
So now you can go here because there's a wave
So
there,
let's see.
I'm more than happy you doing this.
So he's ganking good, right? Especially because champions like Katarina play very aggressively, right? So in general, if Katarina would sit just here, no engage on a rumble, of course, then there isn't too much of a gank potential, right? Unless Rumble steps up really deeply, but because she plays so aggressively, that's what he can play around, right?
See, Nick, like how you click to the right?
So the one important thing to point out that just like observe this player behavior who plays very aggressively, who plays very consistently, right? It also depends on the champion. Coin flippy champs tend to be played more aggressively, like Katarina.
Gonna be there, bro, anyway. Because the wave's right there. Like, why is she gonna recall with no TP? She's gonna miss the whole wave.
Yeah, and
thing is, like, she wouldn't even recall because, like, how healthy she is, right? Like, she does have HP. Like, why would she recall?
I have to admit, I didn't think about
so she got a all-in on Rumble, right? And if Rumble baits with his body, this gank could likely end up to be a successful gank.
Minions and everything, so.
So he got overheated. Katarina backs up a little bit.
And you should also, like, when You come out of base here. I don't know if you actually do it. Okay, so you ping Shyvana being here. What is that jungler doing, bro?
I
Okay,
mean,
well, maybe
don't know if it's needed to be pinged because he's on vision, but I guess
there's even a better.
don't know if it even helps the Veigar, but I guess like it's nice to know. But it's already on the
Move
map.
here. So as soon as I see, because I skipped this, as soon as I see Shyvana Nick bot side here, what am I thinking about?
Her Gromp,
Look
Yeah,
at this,
and what
guys.
else?
Oh, that's so juicy.
her Wolves.
Very good, right? Because her walls will be up now. Yeah. Have you like memorized the timings? Have you watched that timings video I've done?
Yes, so 420, then 440, then 5 minutes
Excellent.
is on the other side. the
So good,
Raptors.
bro. Why are you not challenger? Yeah, exactly though, man. Yeah. So
'Cause
you
I'm bad, I guess.
you know her walls are gonna be up here, right? So if there's no play top, like let's just think, oh yeah, you know, Katarina's gonna base because she's 1 HP and she just killed my Rumble. I'm not gonna get there in time.
There is an argument as well that Shyvana could counter gank, which might be a bit of a bummer because Rumble was really low. Katarina had some HP. Um, but Shyvana players tend to power farm till 6 to reach their power spike. Also, usually Shyvana players are rushing to Drake after their top camps. So it's something you're not too concerned of usually that you're gonna get counter ganked by Shyvana, but that's one thing that's good to have on your mind.
You can just go to Shyvana's walls, Gromp, and then bash your Krugs Raptors and all the way back down. You'll be so fed, man. So fed.
I have a question about that. So
How do you do that though? Because possibly, like I don't know what happened so far. Shyvana was bot side. I assume she cleared her top side, right? Now they should be up at this point, right? As his cracks are also up and her camps are also should be coming up. It's a bit risky as Katarina and Yon has a prio and they also have decent amount of early game damage and chase potential. Um, maybe if she rushes to Drake, um, but I assume his bot like Shyvana's bot can ward the Drake. I don't know why exactly would he actually try to do that.
when I do plays like this, it's relevant, like if the laners have priority or not, or is it like I can sneak there, you know? Because I feel like sometimes I get caught and sometimes I get away with it. And like for example here, Katarina is pushed up and Tony as well. And if Shyvana shows, will I get out in time or not? I don't know.
Okay, well, it's just based on like timing, right? It always is. So we know these camps are up, but the real question here, Nick, is how long do I have until Shyvana's going to be here? This person is all the way over here. We also know that her Raptors are going to spawn soon as well, because she just went like this, right? So her Raptors are going to spawn in the next like 15 seconds. So by the time she's done, whatever she's doing down here, she'll see her Raptors icon come up. She'll probably even stay here, bro. And if you ran out of base straight like this, again, remember we're saying here nothing is happening top. So as you run out of base here and get to walls, you're kiting away from her naturally. And obviously, like when you run through here, like this pixel brush and over the wall, they're popular warding spots for mid lane. So the Yone might have warded at some point.
That's a bit risky as well. That's correct to say, right? I mean, I don't know if Shyvana would, because the thing is, like, she recalled. When did she recall? Approximately recently she did
So
recall,
I
right?
would be sweeping through here until about here, and then you just know you're probably in the clear. Kite the walls up towards Gromp, save your smite, smite the Gromp, and away you go.
I have another question about that. So
Hmm.
for me, it's very like kind of difficult. You know, I have a lot of things in my head. Everything is new, so I'm thinking a lot, and then sometimes I think that adds up to me not doing anything. But for example, if I, you know, I'm happy that I thought about her wolves and groms, and I think I'm really cool. And then I walk there, and there's a ward, and then I get very, you know, disappointed that I have to clear the ward, and now I can't do the play anymore. And then I have to think about something new and everything. I don't know.
That's fine, bro, because like you're clearing the ward and you're still coming back to Krugs and Raptors. It's not like you're losing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so there's no like that's just
It's a bit weird because I don't exactly know if she would, like, maybe one camp he can snatch away, right? Maybe it's a smite fight, but I highly believe earlier on, like, couldn't she have time for that? Not even sure what to tell you guys. I don't know. I don't even know like what happened earlier in here. I'm not
I
sure because I
understand
don't
you
know what
think this
happened
happened.
earlier.
Like I'm just
Like
thinking about
I seen her both side, right? And she recalled. and it's like approximately around the area where he started to walk out of the base. Um, I don't know, honestly. I actually don't know exactly.
Water Gromp, and there's a great opportunity for me to. If it's watered, alright, like I'm gonna have to back off because Shyvana is just gonna miss her raptors then and run straight to walls, right? I'm fine with you staying here if they're gonna troll like this. I'm fine. Just sweep down.
That's why I said she could be possibly topside. Mm-hmm.
Good.
So,
Good.
what do we do here? Oh, yeah. The Yon did not get respected, right? The Yon roam, which likely gonna have prio into a Veigar. Let's see what happens.
Alright, back the fuck out and FF. You can potentially kill the Shiv though, right? Like on a Gromp?
Yeah,
Or take a Gromp if you wanted to?
He ran straight here, yeah, that's true.
So that's reasonable to say. Um, then he gives up some tempo when it comes to taking down the Drake, right? I think that's like fine-ish to say. Um, if she grids, if she doesn't, you may waste a lot of your time. Then you kind of have to pick up that Gromp if it's there. Uh, then I think you kind of lose Drake if she insta rotates for it, right? So ups and downs really. Then she also has access to Kha'Zix's bot side because she won Soraka and Jin doesn't have the best collapse, right? So it's like depends if the laners can even rotate, because likely Zeri Lulu could possibly get a prio.
Yeah, I
Look at
think
this, man.
for me, if so much is happening, I kind of forgot. So yeah.
Oh, she's recalling. But the funny thing is, you could actually take her Gromp and base. She'd be so tilted.
That would be really smart.
She'd be so tilted as well.
Before saying that, it's important to tab to see how much CS does she have. Now, as soon as she arrived kind of quickly on top lane, so it likely means that she did not take it, but it's wise to tap to actually see it.
Run to a Gromp and see it gone, and she'll be like, wait, what?
And the guy in the video itself, the Kha'Zix player, didn't really tap to check the CS, right? Because that would tell, did she take it, did she not take it? Because people have been skipping in this like coaching session, and I don't exactly know what's going on. Like, they didn't really tab either to see Shyvana CS.
I thought that going
26, so she did not take the room.
Raptors is not so good, so I went to bot. Oh no, I think I went to Raptors. Okay. Yeah.
Because she started there, so she'll go Gromp balls and back down. If she runs straight at Dragon, like you should actually just check drag here out of base.
Also, just run to Drake and see if she's doing this or.
Yeah, because it's a Shyvana. Same thing. Like any jungler here, bro, you should actually just do it. Lee Sin, J4, all like pretty much every jungler can level 4 Drake unless it's a Shaker, right? So you should just like run straight through to Dragon and just check it. Then you can come back blue Gromp balls, and then after that you can even recheck it if you wanted to.
So
where's the smite, man?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not easy to smite. It's like saying, where is the smite? Like that. It's not that easy. If he W smites, maybe. Or.
No, this is.
Arguably, he could bench jump in. And Yon is out of position now, right? So he will get first strike money, right? So in here, jumping in is okay. Because we have immediate follow-up. Yon out of position, right? So we get this, we get some first strike money, and we put pressure on her. Which means if we win the trade and we can get some Qs in, and she won't fight us, she will try to disengage. If we chip her HP down enough, we might be able to possibly invade her at Wolves or something. Depends what she has up. He has to tap first to see, right?
You can even jump onto her, right? Because Veigar's mid. Just hit her over.
Yep, that's correct to say.
Like, look at your items here, Nick.
I'm pretty strong.
Like, Shyvana has a recurve bow, which does provide her some combat power, but she's not that strong right now compared to Kha'Zix. So I think this is like a really easy all-in, no? You just need to smite the crab, of course.
Yeah, and like she's used her E and stuff like on the crab, right?
Yeah, of all the abilities.
No cooldowns, you have every cooldown. You've got Veigar who can move first as well. Like this should just be an instant jump onto her in the crab. You can smite crab while jumping, and in you go.
Yep. That's what I thought as well. And if he gets enough damage on Shyvana's HP, maybe he could even go for a solo invade later. which may be a bit risky though, because Yon moved down, so might not be worth. But still, I think he could get free value there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing here, bro, like if you saw her mid like this and you were down bot side, you could just do dragon straight away.
So he tried the mid gank, but then she was walking upwards. I did not see that if she did she have blue or did she not. He didn't really move his camera, but it's an important thing to point out. If she did not have blue, likely she will go for blue. Then for her top side camps, depending on her CS, of course, which means that you could try to actually go for a Drake if she's looking to clear her top side. Then most likely she will Rika, right? Okay.
What's this thing about dragons? So a lot of time people.
So Shyvana is one of the win conditions for Shyvana players. Is actually Drake's because of her passive. So also she deals 20% more damage towards Drake's, which means you kinda want to get those, right?
Say that it's like not worth it to do because it's so much time and blah blah. You don't get.
Outro usually as Kha'Zix, like not necessarily dragons, but rather heralds are your priority because you're looking to get your dust played as fast as possible. You're looking to snowball as hard as you can. So for better taking Drake in this situation, walking all the way downwards may mean that we have to give up Herald possibly. So
It's all
that's that.
general stuff, bro. Like the best thing on the
Yeah.
minimap here is dragon, right? That's just factual. And I'm not
Okay,
a
but
fan of
why?
like wasting time and stuff. Well, because I mean, I guess you
Because it's scaling, right? Like this Drake is good though. I don't say it's not like good to snowball because it allows people to have more mobility to roam, get ganks done, but it's like heralds are higher valued. Now I know yet herald is not
could even say
spanned
her raptors
bound,
and
right?
krugs are more valuable, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they're up, right?
But watch. So herald is spawning soon, right? And in the moment, if he walks downwards, Drake may be warded, may not be, who knows, right? Herald is generally not too warded.
Well, her krugs might be up.
Top laners,
Again,
like borderline, none of them
I
ward
don't
the
know.
Herald, neither mid laners.
Anyway, what I'm saying here, Nick, is like her bot side. It's kind of hard to tell like what she's done, right? So the best thing on the map that makes them lose something and makes you gain something is dragon. That's the best way to play the game. You want to gain while making them lose because that's something you both want and value.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So like first Rift Herald, right, gives you so much gold.
Yes.
So if you can take it, you're denying them at the same time. Yeah? So like Dragon here, what are you giving up? Like nothing. Like Shyvana is never going to invade your top side because you can.
So if he got right now Drake, right? That would be cool. If it's free, if we can secure it for sure, right? And Herald would not be contested because it's not spawned. That would be one of the options, right? Now, what's the issue with that play? There might be a coin flip smite. Why do I even say it? Exactly now he paused. Veigar is a little bit low. I'm not sure if the guy has TP up or not. If he has TP up, then I would say let's consider it. But Katarina is quite a strong skirmisher, right? Same way as Shyvana has some fighting power, people will group around Drake, note, which means Kha'Zix does not get isolated queues for a possible fight. It's true that they have a Jhin, Soraka, that has some early game power, not insanely a lot, but they
Okay,
also
so
have a
if you
Zeri
like,
and
let's
Lulu.
just say you ran bot, right, to Dragon.
And
Like I
at
said.
this point, it's not too difficult
She's
for
never going to
them
check
to
your
get like an
rattle
even
because there's
priority on
chances
bot
for you
lane.
to be here, and she should know you're off a base. You were super low in that top fight, so you're going to recall, and you already had a Dirk longsword, right? Like they all saw you here with Dirk longsword. So you're clearly going to recall sometime soon after all this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And even here, man, you could have ran straight to your Raptors. Like Shyvana does not know this. She might think, oh, he's ran to his Raptors and he's going bot side.
Okay, but at this point, right? So I understand that Drake is good and everything, but how do I come to this conclusion in the game? Like, how does the game right now like tell me that Drake would be smart?
Because you're not losing anything for it. You don't lose Raptors because you could have done this right here. You don't lose Raptors because they know you're quite strong.
Okay.
And you can still come back to your camps, bro.
No, that's fair.
Can you say that?
Yeah, but it's also dependent on the lane states, right? So, or
Okay,
can I
it's
just
more.
sneak it, or
Yeah, you
I
can.
don't know.
Like, there's no real reason, bro, for Katarina to, like, or anyone to check Dragon here. Okay, so the main reason you do something like that, Nick, or like Rift Herald, or anything, is because the enemy jungler is in Narnia. Other side of the map.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
So Shyvana is going to run, bro, to her Gromp, right? Like we said. If she runs straight to Dragon, we just run off it. Like, it's not like we lose anything. She's running here, I'm running here. All right, I'm just going to go blue Gromp pools and come back, maybe. Check it. See if she's
Okay,
strong.
so even if it's a really strong jungler, I would still do this.
Because they're top, yeah. Like, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, like, how strong they are or how much damage they do.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they are probably going to run topside. And if they do come over here, you can always just back out.
Yeah, that's really smart. I think I never think about Dragon. I always think about Rift.
Yeah, the worst thing, man, is like when you watch high elo players, and I understand them because, well, yeah, I just like kind of do, but they don't explain it, right? So I've heard like Rengar players, right? And I've heard some high elo Rengars, like challenger ones, really good ones, say, oh yeah, if Dragon is free, just take it. But they don't explain what free is. So then everyone thinks, oh yeah, look, there's a free dragon, let's just do it, or dragon's up, let's go to it and do it. They don't understand like the conditions. Where's the enemy jungler at? How strong am I? So even if they do contest, I don't really care. And do I have lane prior? Lane prior is really like the icing on the cake. That makes it easier, yeah?
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, enemy jungler, bro, like where you think they're going to be, dictates like just what you do. So that's why you have to camp track them at. Because you should know that Shyvana just ran all the way from bot to top. What a genius. But I don't think she's done any camps. Like, how does she do that quickly? I don't think she's touched a camp, which is what I was saying. You could always like just go in and take her Gromp if you wanted to. Or I would have ran like this, Nick, if you didn't see her here recalling. Ran like this. Get vision of her.
Yeah, I think I'm
I think sometimes here and there it can be rather repetitive in some case scenarios. Instead of just, of course, it's important to listen to the client itself. I don't say it's not. Um, my issue is that often, like, it's not the best at closing an argument, right? Either quickly enough or just to not repeat the same thing over and over. Now, sometimes it has to be repeated, it's true, in case the client doesn't understand this, or perhaps try to explain it in a different way, but we are kind of stuck on the same thing, on the same page. When do we get Drake? When the do we get Drake? Do we invade? Do we not invade? Do we da da da?
just not at the level yet where I think about things like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when I see her there, it's just like, oh, you know, Shyvana is there, but I'm not thinking about, oh, that was really quick, you know, she didn't clear her top side, let's go bot. So now, when you explain it and everything, it makes sense, but in-game, I'm just not thinking like that.
Ready? There's a timeline, bro. Are you ready?
Damn, okay.
This is how, like, challengers think, yeah? There is a present, and 99% of players are in the present. There is a history. There is a past. I know what she's done. I know what she's doing.
So I think he's trying
And
to
therefore, I know what she's going to do.
explain him, right?
Yeah.
But when you see Shiv, you just think, oh, Shiv's here.
I think might be like a smart thing to
That's
draw,
Like, oh,
because I guess it's easier for some clients to understand like what's going on, right?
There's a small dragon who's going to turn into a dragon at level 6. I think, what the fuck? She's gone, like, she's come straight to top? That means I don't think she's done any of these 3 camps, which we know we're up.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking, wow, can I exploit this anyway? Well, what's she going to do in the future then? She's one.
Like, so far, my only issue is it's a little repetitive, you know. Like, I know the clients has some misunderstandings, but it's quite repetitive. I ain't gonna lie. Because we are kind of stuck at the same thing. I think in one place should be explained as a whole to the Kha'Zix player itself, of why and what, right? Like, if someone has so many questions, I think we need to completely pause it then, and then explain all of the consequences, perhaps, because some people really want to know everything, right?
1 HP. So maybe she's going to be greedy and do this. I'm going to come around and kill her. I see her recalling. Wait, what? That means her Gromp's still up, though. I can just take her Gromp and base and get a longsword. I take her level 4 Gromp, and I can just run straight to Dragon, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then, like, when I'm basing, Shyvana is probably going to run here because she is going to go like this. And I'm pretty sure her Krugs are gone as well, right? So at a...
The only issue might be with that, if the enemy bot lane warded, and time to time the Lulu did disappear from the bot side of the map, which could mean that they possibly warded it, not 100% though. From my own opinion, if he actually communicated it off with the Kha'Zix player, where in the moment when Soraka brought that control ward to actually directly ward the Drake itself, that would be actually insane. So then we actually see if someone is doing it, someone is not doing it, or we see if it's warded or not, which is quite important to have, because this disallows in if he wards, right, it disallows like them taking it down in some random way, or either we just have like vision over it, right? We have a control ward over it, so we know for sure it's not warded, which means that we can really easily go for it. So one thing that he could ban tell him is just like when he sees Soraka buying a control ward, he could ban tell the Soraka to just like ward the Drake instead of this bush, because this bush can be warded really easily with a simple ward as well. But it's not really a big deal.
She's just going to path like she did in the past. History repeats itself, Nick. You know that.
Okay, so and if she started bot
World
side,
War
then
III,
she would
man.
probably
Because even if Shyvana goes bot lane, here's the thing that some bot laners don't understand. Shyvana generally does not ever want to gank this, so even if this is not warded, Shyvana never ganks this lane into this lane. What Shyvana wants to get is resource. So I think what Eagz could tell him better is just communicate. It's about communication with Soraka. Soraka or Jin, whoever brought that ward, probably Soraka, to actually place the ward on the resource Shyvana will get instead of trying to force a gank on bot lane, because it's like insanely difficult for Shyvana to gank before 6 into such a bot lane. Especially because they most likely also have sums, because these two bot laners can't force out summoner spells out of these two champions early on. Now, truth to be told, I don't exactly know that, but normally they shouldn't force out anything in this laning.
if she started bot side, then she's always pathing from top, from bot to top, probably, right?
Yeah,
So
most
then
likely.
If she's bot
Most
side,
likely.
I don't check Drake, or do I do still?
Yeah, I think Dragon is presumptuous if she started bot. You know, like if you know right for a fact her Krugs and Raptors are up, and if her red buff's about to.
Because we are all the time talking about Drakes, but we are not talking about warding the Drake, right? That's what I found to be a little funny, right? Communicating perhaps with the mid laner or with the support. So
Spawn and she started that. Like it might be this time now, right? And her blue buff, you see how the symbol's on it. If we move that to her red buff, and we know her Krugs and Raptors are up, it's a little fucking presumptuous doing it. Therefore, you need to rely more on, at that point, you being either a lot stronger or your lanes being stronger. That's when you would start a Drake if she's on the
okay, so that's fair to say, right? Stronger laners having priority, right?
same side. But even if you check this, we hard win 4v4 or 3v3 at Retail. No worries, let's go, let's fight.
Right.
But if she's not here, you don't have to really worry about anything, man. And if her laners come check, alright, they kind of cucked me, but I'm still coming back to blue Grand Pools.
And it's all good.
Yeah, and they might miss minions for it, right? So now, we mentioned a couple of things here as well. Shyvana is farming bot,
Did they take Drake?
and there's stuff happening top. So tell me about Shiv first, because you should like tick off the enemy jungler first.
Okay, so because she's bot, she's gonna need some time to reach top because her Gromp is up and everything. So she should be going to top side. But she's bot, so potentially, if nothing would happen top, I could take her Wolves and Gromp, maybe.
Very good. I think Gromp, though, is really the only thing here
Okay.
you can take, because
yep.
she's either going to like do Raptors when they respawn, or she's just going straight to like Wolves Gromp.
Yep.
So you've only got time for really one camp, so it'd be Gromp, because it's just worth more experience, and it's closer.
Okay, that's fair to say. But as Kha'Zix, you would generally look more so to possibly get a top gank out in this situation. But it could be a secondary priority for you, of course.
Pure safety.
Yeah.
Makes sense? And then you can still gank top it. So then tell me about this gank top, Nick. Like, when should you actually time it?
It depends on the opportunity, of course. Like, if you don't have the opportunity, of course, then don't gank top. Probably try to go for a Grom. But it's still something I'm very questionable about. Because Shyvana presses W, starts walking, if, in case she recalled, right? And maybe, I'm like, maybe, Kha'Zix could possibly snatch away a Grom, right? But 144.5, right? But this is what I'm not 100% sure in. So
Wave there, right?
soon Shyvana will be revealed on both sides, right? Somewhere here Shyvana will be revealed both sides. Somewhere here, I think, at the beginning. Shyvana, where are you? So soon. Is that Shyvana? I don't see it correctly. That looks like it's the tower. I think soon she will be revealed both sides, but I don't know. Let's see. Soon she will be bot side. I don't know when exactly, but there was like a moment he paused and we saw that Shyvana was bot side. I just don't exactly know where. Let me see if I can tell you. Okay, 427. Now she finished her clear, right? And could he steal the Gromp? Steal the Wolves? I would say maybe. Maybe. Why do I say that? So, 8 seconds, right? Shyvana could recall soon, very soon, either on vision or off vision. She's still taking the wave though. I assume she just picks up the wave for some reason instead of recalling. Or maybe setting up a freeze. I don't exactly. Is it a freeze? I don't exactly see that map with my eyes. So possibly it could be a freeze. And she walked upwards, which could really likely mean that she's walking like this. If she wanted to go for a faster recall, she would walk like this. So apparently, from her body language, by walking like this, it way more likely it means like that she's gonna go for raptors because the shorter way to recall of vision would be like this, right? So just from that body language, it tells me that she did actually go for raptors, I assume. But we'll see.
Very good. I think Gromp though is really the only thing here
Okay.
you can take because she's either going to like do raptors when they respawn, or she's just going straight to like walls Gromp.
But from this body language, right? Like we see she's walking
So
upwards,
you've only
right?
got time.
My issue is like he's not moving his camera, so I can't exactly see where the Shyvana is patting towards. If she's patting towards the Krug area, she's looking for a fast recall. If she's walking upwards, then most likely she's walking towards Krug, Raptors, my bad.
Time for really one camp, so it'd be Gromp because it's just worth more experience and it's closer to your safety.
Yeah.
Makes sense? And then you can still gank top it. So then tell me about this gank top, Nick. Like, when should you actually time it?
Yep, she walked upwards. So it's very likely that she actually does it just from the body language itself, unless this guy is a bluff mastermind, I assume.
I should time it with my minion wave because that's when Katarina is going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So right now it's she won't dive, she won't fight, but it's okay. I can just do Crux and then wait for the next minion wave, and then gank on that.
Very good. So is clicking to the right here good or?
Nah, that's not good. Yeah, because I didn't think about it.
Is it inherently bad though? Because one of the possibilities could be
The
going
right?
top.
Yeah.
One of them could be going for his camps.
You
Not
go,
inherently
like
wrong.
maybe even Rumble pings or something weird.
It's very obvious that she's going to.
Because can he even pick up the kill?
What
Here
about?
I give her an escape here, so that's not good.
You're a quick learner, bro. I can tell, Nick. You've got the power.
So, does he spot the mistake? Let's see.
Thanks, bro.
No,
Da-
I'm serious. Like,
Does he spot the mistake?
people don't how do I put it? I mean, I think it's just because you understand it. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
like you
I
recognize
always try
patterns.
to understand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and here I should think about that. Because earlier I thought, oh,
Think he did not notice the mistake. Mechanical mistake, actually. So let's look at the mistake itself.
Quick learner, bro. Yeah,
I'm gonna also slow it down so it's
like when
easier
maybe
for
the
everybody
Rumble pings
to
or something
understand,
weird.
of course.
it's very obvious that she's going to fight.
I slowed it down, right?
So yeah,
So we don't 100% know where Katarina is in the bush, right? But most likely is looking to E on the Kazakhs and find an escape, which means most likely she is here. Now, let me ask you guys, what would actually happen if Kazakhs, right, W'd the bush? Would he be able to swing in an extra basic attack there and finish off the Katarina or not? He could also arguably do, watch this, I'm gonna play it.
What about?
Oh damn, the sound effect is weird. Okay, so watch. He's clicking in a weird way as well, in here instead of in here. So he could then instantly click on Katarina, of course, which could possibly again allow him to swing in an extra basic. So Katarina already jumps, and my issue is he's spacing in the bad direction instead of clicking in here, which means his basic attack would go off slightly faster than usually, right? And also, it would mean that you actually get your first strike as well. But ideally, I would try to initiate with a W, or click behind yourself, which is again totally fine, right? But he was a little slow. He was even walking away from Katarina. So it's really about his micro spacing where he's walking towards, because obviously Katarina will jump behind him, not in front of him, just because she's looking to escape towards the tower, right? So the micro mistake itself was that he was clicking walking in the wrong direction. He didn't basic attack in time. He could possibly W the bush, but it's not a big deal if he doesn't initiate with that. I assume if he clicks in time, then he also did not Q in time. He could then also buffer his, like he could then smash his Q on the ground, right? By the time Katerina arrives, of course. And in here, could he then swing in an extra basic attack? He got exhausted. Now, would that be lethal? I don't see her armor. 65 HP though. Very likely it wouldn't be lethal, but I'm not 100% sure. She had 63 HP, she had some armor and an exhaust on Kha'Zix. I would say that probably wouldn't be lethal damage, but if he didn't miss one basic attack at the beginning, just a slight micro mistake there, right? He could then also insta-Q Katarina, of course, when she arrives, but that's fine. Then what would happen is that he swings in a basic attack. So either A, his space is a bit better when Katarina jumps in, doesn't walks in the wrong direction. So he gets a very easy all-in on Katarina. B, he W's in, which again like means that he could really easily possibly swing in an extra basic attack. And C, he could then insta-Q the Katarina as soon as she jumps, but again, like basic attacking is generally better, but you gotta be very fast about it. He was slightly slower. So it was like, he could then actually like squeeze in an extra basic attack. From my own opinion though.
Thought, oh, she's bot, so her top side is up, and now she's really quickly here, so she obviously didn't clear her camps.
Good.
So that helps me to understand that either I can go to her Gromp because she's really low here, or Drake because she's top side, because she has to clear from top to bot because her bot camps are not up yet, and that means that I can potentially do Drake.
Excellent, bro. Very, very good indeed. Yeah. Excellent.
So he did put something in his head.
Raptors here is maybe a little bit inaccurate because
that's not good.
Why is it difficult for her to ever check them, Nick? Like, why is it risky for her to check your Raptors ever?
Because she knows that I'm really strong and she doesn't really know, I guess, where I go.
Okay, so she should know you've done Krugs, right? Into like a gank top based on your CS, yeah? Because you killed the Zeri and you ran out of base and only did one camp. So Krugs. She should also like maybe think, well, this Kha'Zix, I didn't see the Kha'Zix, remember? After you fought top, you were in fog the entire time because Tri-Brush and the River Brush weren't warded. So you could have just ran to Raptors there and then recalled.
Yeah.
See?
So it's just a huge waste of time for her, and it's a lot easier to just
Delaying your 6 sucks on Kha'Zix, right?
That's it, man. That's it, precisely.
For 17 minutes, we've been squeezing the same play. Again, definitely some people do require more explanation. I don't say so. But I assume the client didn't also have the best way of understanding of what he's saying. So he, again, like had to over and over explain it, which, like, I actually don't know what to say, but for 17 minutes, I think we've been listening for legit the same thing. But I assume the client needed a lot of explanation of what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do. But from my own opinion, this whole thing could be summarized in a shorter way than 17 minutes, from my personal opinion, instead of like squeezing as much time in possible by talking about the same subject.
And I'm not a fan.
So, is it what?
We said.
Coach EGZ, climb tiers, EGZ.gg, Patreon, 500 plus coaching sessions, right? Discord, don't necessarily have to click on that, right? So apparently he is a Challenger League coach, of course. Patreon subs, 15. Oh, what's that even? So access to all of the coaching session, exclusive coaching videos, Discord access. Is it what? not all that much, because if I Google Veigar V2 Patreon, right, we can see it with our eyes that there are simply just better offers. Veigar Lover. So not only to 350 coaching sessions you'll have access to, right? But you'll have access to over 1,000. While it also costs only $10 a month, right? Instead of 30. Now, what is this OW? I don't know. It's written dollars. I gonna believe it's dollars. I don't know what this is OW mean. Why isn't it dollars or euros? Everybody understand it. OW in euro. Or is it out? Why is that, man? In, I don't know, man. USA dollars, whatever. How much is 29.9920 Australian dollar cents is? It's like $10 less, but it's still more expensive than, as an example, by Garvito's Patreon. Then again, the other issue is that I go to his website and we see his general coaching costs 100 USD, 349 for 5 hours, 629 for so it's USD. I assume it's USD on his side, and it's not AUD anymore. Or AU. Which really keeps asking me questions of is it worth, because WOD reviews, live game coaching for returning students. So if you're someone that wants to jump into a live coaching directly, you can only use it if you already brought. So live coaching is not instantly available, which again is just accessibility, right? Like you got to be fine as well with WODs. It's not really a big deal. It's 100 USD. Is it worth? No. Truth to be told, it's not that worth. It might just be for the brand. It's 100 USD, or because it's popular on YouTube, on Twitch, what have you. Why do I say it's not worth? Most of the things that Ben pointed out in here, right?
Like go round through try.
Many challenger or even under challenger level coaches could actually tell you that generally costs way less than $100, $20, you name it, right? Because all of these things that Ben said, I heard from lower ranked coaches. Now, of course, in coaching, rank doesn't really matter that much, but you know, it's nice to have, like, because that's what like makes client credibility, of course, for some people. Um, now from other than that, it's like price wise, it's not worth for its value, from my own opinion, but it's something that's valid to buy if you want to meet the person, or like you get value out of it. It's valid to buy, but it's not worth the value, if that does make sense. Like you're gonna get quality league coaching, but you can get it from many other places. So then it's just weird, right? Because at this point it's not that worth, unless you wanna be specifically coached by him because you really like the way he's teaching, of course. But from my own opinion, it's not that big of a deal. No hate, of course.